Hello everyone, welcome to this channel World Knowledge. New year, new world, new era, new months, and new days. We are passing through the new days, but still in the world, tensions are old, or we can say that oldest. Yes, I am here once again with the new international news and the news which is shocking the world. US strikes Venezuela and captures Maduro. Trump says we are going to run the country for now. As we are now witnessing that after the months of threats and pressure tactics, the United States now has bombed Venezuela and toppled its president Nicolás Maduro, who was seized and taken to the New York, where he will be put on trial. President Trump said Venezuela President Nicolás Maduro and his wife were captured and flown out of the country early Saturday morning and aimed a large scale strike by the US. So, the Mr. Trump said in a press conference that the US would run Venezuela on a temporary basis during the transition and get the oil flowing. But what was the agenda of the Trump? He never mentioned this before in his press conference. The US Army's Delta Force and elite special forces unit carried out the operation to capture Maduro, officials told. Maduro and his wife landed in New York on Saturday, and Maduro arrived at a detention center in New York City in Saturday night. Maduro is said to face federal charges related to drug trafficking and working with gangs designed as terrorist organization, which Maduro denies. Attorney General Pam Bondi shared a suspending indication similar to one filed against Maduro in 2020. Basically, these strikes follows the months of US military built up in the region, with the USS Garland retired Ford aircraft carrier and numerous other warships positioned into the Caribbean Sea and a series of deadly strikes on more than 30 boats the administration says were carrying the drugs. As we all know that this escalation or this fight started months back, mostly after September. The US has carried out a large scale strike against Venezuela, and its leader, Nicolas Maduro, has been flown out of the country with his wife. The raid marks a dramatic escalation after months of tensions between the two countries and a US military built up in the region. Where and when did the US strike? Several explosions rang out in Caracas, Venezuela's capital, early on Saturday as low flying aircraft swept over the city. Witnesses reported smoke rising from the hangar of a military base in Caracas. The explosion sent people rushing into the streets while others posted videos of the blasts on social media. These strikes, which lasted about 30 minutes, also hit the states of Miranda, Orgeo, and Loguera, according to the Venezuelan government. Donald Trump told there were a few injuries to US forces, but no deaths. But according to the Venezuelan government, they reported that almost 40 people are died in this all. How was Maduro captured? Mr. Trump said Maduro and his wife were flown by helicopter to a US warship and would go on the New York to face charges. So, Maduro was captured by elite special forces troops, a US official told us. But on Saturday morning, sources inside the opposition told that they believe that Maduro capture was a negligence exit. An image shared on Truth Social by Mr. Trump showed Maduro blindfolded with the captions Nicolás Maduro on board the USS Imo Jima. According to the country's ruling party leader, the president and his wife were at their home within a military base when they were seized. That's where they bombed, he told the Association Press. And there they carried out what we could call a kidnapping of the president and the first lady of the country. Venezuela officials said people had been killed, but the scale of casualties was unclear. So basically, these were the two stands from the two different countries, from US and from the Venezuela. US broadcaster CNN reported the couple were dragged from their bedroom, citing two sources. They said they were captured in the middle of the night as they were sleeping at their homes. Next, they think, did the Maduro to face charges? US Attorney General Pam Bondi said Nicolas Maduro and Cilia Flores have been indicated in the southern districts of New York. They will soon face the full worth of American justice on American soil in American courts. They wrote it on the social media platform X. She said the Venezuelan president faces charges of narcoterrorism and also the cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices against the US. Maduro was indicated in March 2020 on narco-terrorism charges in the Southern District of New York. We are going to run the country, says Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump said in the US will run Venezuela until a proper transition is made. Meanwhile, the vice president addressed the nation saying Venezuela would never be a colony of any country. He also told that Maduro and his wife will be released. She said they captured our leader and he was the only president of Venezuela. Mr. Trump spoke to the media at Mar-a-Lago on Saturday about the assault on Venezuela. He told reporters air, land, and sea was used for an assault like people have not seen since World War II. The US president said the goal of the attack on a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas was to bring outlaw director Nicolas Maduro to the justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful display of American military might and competence in American history. He also added in this. Mr. Trump said the US was ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So Trump also indicate that soon they will bomb again Venezuela if it's needed. Although the armed forces assumed that a second wave would be a necessary, they added, but said the first attack was so successful. We probably don't have to do a second, or we don't have the need for this. But we are prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually, they said. So, Trump and their military forces already indicated that soon they bomb the Venezuela. US oil funds will enter in the country during the transition period, Mr. Trump added. They also said we are going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go and spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. So, here were the main news of the today. Now there is a concerning questions that it's a illegal abduction. Yes, Mr. Trump, US or any other countries have no right to abduct any of the leader. Legal experts, world leaders, and Democratic Party lawmakers in the US have condemned the administration actions as a violation of international law. Attacking countries, it's the violation of international law is the first step towards a world of violence, chaos, and instability, where the law of the strongest prevails over multilateralism. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva wrote on X. The United Nations Special Reporters on Human Rights slammed what he called Washington's its illegal abduction of Maduro. I condemn the US illegal aggression against Venezuela, Saul wrote on social media platform. A spokesperson for UN Chief Antonio Guterres said he was deeply alarmed by this situation, discussing that the US actions as setting are dangerous. It's also dangerous for the world. The Secretary General continues to emphasize the importance of full respect by all of international law, including the UN Charter. He is deeply concerned that the rules of international law have not been respected. Uncertainty prevails. After this incident, it remains nuclear. How exactly the US plans to run Venezuela and how long the purported transitional period will last. During Saturday news conference, Trump said that the Secretary of State Marco Rubio had spoken with Venezuelan Vice President. She was sworn in as president just a little while ago, Trump told to the reporters. She had a long conversation with Rubio and she said we will do whatever we need. I think she was quite gracious, but he really doesn't have a choice. Later, the vice president of the Venezuela in the news conference in Caracas said, "We demanded the immediate release of President Nicolás Maduro and his wife. The only president of Venezuela is President Nicolás Maduro," she said. "We are ready to defend Venezuela, we are ready to defend our natural resources, and we should be for national development," she also added. So, although Trump told that they will run, but how they will run? As a vice president already indicated that they want their presidents. And when we're talking about the peoples or masses of Venezuela, so there were the mixed emotions among the people. Some were happy, some were celebrating in this incident, but some are deeply annoyed and shocked. But still, this incident shocks the world. So now we will see that how will Mr. Trump tackle this situation. For more news, more updates, stay tuned with this channel, World Knowledge. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.